32 teams, 82 games, 3 rounds of thrilling playoff action. All the big hits, brilliant saves, game-winning goals, they've all led to this. It's the Stanley Cup broken down right now for you on Keeping Score. Hello, hockey fans, and welcome back to Keeping Score. I'm Theodore Fernandez, as always. Look, this is our 4th show together now, and I don't want our intros to start to get stale. We always talk about something generic. I want to go around the horn right now, and I want everyone to give me your most overrated player in the NHL. So, Caden, K-Man, you start us off.
I got to go with Jack Hughes. I just don't think he has longevity. I think this is... No.
Jack Hughes is 22, but he's over.
Quote by Caden Nagel.
Yeah.
It's got to come to an end soon. He's like, I don't think he has the grit to stay long, in my opinion. You know.
I respect that.
And Patrick Mahomes didn't stay long.
I don't know where these Patrick Mahomes comparisons are coming from, but Drew, why don't you give us your guy?
I'm saying Jonathan Huberdeau. Big trade that happened last offseason, to Chuck going to the Panthers, which we've obviously seen the effect of that, how good of a trade the Panthers got, and then Jonathan Huberdeau. I think it was a couple picks and a couple players going to the Flames, but had a big season for the Panthers, I think he was a Hart Trophy finalist for MVP, had 125 points, 120, something like that. And then he dropped off to have 65 this year, and he played every single game of the season, and he only had 65 points. So it was the biggest drop-off in points, but I honestly think he was kind of a one-season kind of wonder, and he just really hasn't, it was one bad season, so this season will be kind of crucial for him if he wants to keep that superstar status and be that, staple that the Flames have.
Yeah, the Flames need him to be that guy because look at what you gave up to, they need him to be something really, really good. Rowan, give us your guy right now.
I want to say Sebastian Aho, and before you ask me which one, I'm talking about Jack Hughes' stepdad. Anyways, wearing the Jack Hughes jersey, I'm so going to say that. Anyway, Sebastian Aho, he's just seen as the Hurricanes' best player, their leader. But honestly, if you ask me, he was definitely good in the regular season, but as we've seen in the playoffs and the last series, facing the Panthers when they got swept. It seemed like that entire series, Sebastian Aho wasn't what he was supposed to be, and he didn't show up to his reputation, and he just I don't think he's perfectly well rated.
That's interesting. He did lead his team to the conference finals, though.
Yeah, but he didn't show up in the conference finals.
That's a fair point. I absolutely respect that. That's a good answer. Yeah. JP, give me your guy.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to take you guys up on that. Instead of just one player, I'm actually going to do a little duo. I'm going to go Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Laine playing on the same line together. In simple terms, they were hot garbage just as much as Caden's Patrick Mahomes take. Honestly, that was terrible, dude. But it was expected that when Gaudreau came to the Jackets, it was going to be great. Him and Laine were going to pop off. They did the absolute opposite of that. They didn't have anything to show for it, and now they're sitting at the bottom of the Metro. I don't know. I'm not sure how next season's going to go, but as of right now, those are my takes.
Yeah, we're talking pre-show. Caden told us, Jack Hughes is overrated. He's like the Patrick Mahomes of hockey. One of the most absurd statements I've ever heard. Jack Hughes is overrated, though, and I've said it all 3 shows. I'll say it a 4th time. Jack Hughes, just nothing special. He's a bum. I'd take about 5 Rangers players over him. I'd take Islanders players over him. Take him to the KHL or something. I'll take Patrick Mahomes on ice over him. Anyone but Jack
We're not
Hughes.
letting this go, dude.
We are not letting this go, Caden, yeah. Speaking of not letting things go, we're all wearing the red, white, and blue here. I've got to bring this up. You're not. What's going on there? Do you hate America, Caden?
I got red and blue, kind of. There's a little.
That's
right.
The
eye.
Okay, I got you.
He has red and teal.
And dark blue.
And
see how he emphasized the teal?
The teal. Okay, that's enough talking about colors, guys. Let's go to the conference finals. We all know what our Stanley Cup matchup is, but let's take a look at what we told you would happen in the previous rounds. So starting out in the East, or in the West rather, we had the Knights taking on the Stars, and a lot of us nailed that pick. Some of us didn't. I'm one of the ones who did not get that one right. I mean, I've been riding Vegas the whole time. I decided to switch it up, go Stars in 6. That did not happen. Caden, Rowan, you guys got a full 2 points for this one. How do you guys nail it?
Honestly, I was actually surprised I got this. I thought it would be in like 5, but Dallas had that win, and I was just like, oh my God, might actually happen in 6 games. So I think I kind of got lucky with that 2 point, but I don't know how you guys picked Dallas over the Knights. I just feel like the Knights are just the better team easily.
Okay, look, I was trying to move up in the standings. I figured like, they'd probably all have Vegas.
Okay.
Let me go Dallas, and because I had Vegas winning the Stanley Cup even from the preseason, so I was very high on Jack Eichel in the squad. I thought, hey, maybe it'll work if I go the other way. It did not work. Joe, tell us why Dallas failed, because you had the Stars as well.
Yeah, as close as I thought it was going to be, the Stars were just disappointing. I really felt that they had what it takes. They obviously didn't. No disrespect to the Knights, they were just so much better. I'm not saying that the Stars are bad. I'm saying that they had an incredible run, but they can definitely make some improvements in the offseason, and I'm sure that they're going to be back next year.
All right, so that'll do it for our West coverage. Let's move over to the East, and you guys are about to be very embarrassed by what you see on this screen. Sebastian Aho clearly is overrated. I mean, losing in 4, and you guys are also overrated, because how am I the only one who picked Florida to win this series? I mean, they've just been on an absolute tear, and you guys all had Canes in 7 besides me. I didn't even think it would be a 4-game series. That was shocking. But Drew, walk us through what happened there.
Just honestly got dominated by the Panthers, I think. Sergei Bobrovsky really, stood on his head this series. First 4 games, I think it was the first 3 games, he let in only 1 goal on 103 shots, I think it was. Just an absurd stat for him, just really showing why. They signed him those few years back when he left the Blue Jackets, and big contract of $10 million. But Matthew Tkachuk was really the highlight of the series. really had 3 overtime game-winning goals for them. The big one in Game 4 that sent him to the Stanley Cup. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens next in the final.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this matchup. I think we have 2 really fun teams playing. Before we get into that, though, let's take a look at the standings we got here on this show. And starting on my left, Rowan, JP, come on, 8 points. What's going on there?
I'm going to let you take that one.
You
I'm
sure?
kinda
You
at a
still don't
loss.
want to?
I'm at a loss for words.
Well, I gotta blame it on really when I think it was last series. Well, not 2 series ago. I just went 0 for 4, and I started off with that after the first series. I was in the middle, but I just went to nothing after that last after that series.
You started strong, and I've done the opposite. I mean, I went 2 for 8 in the first round. I had just 3 points. Now I've battled back to 3rd place. 9 points. I've made comebacks before. I'm undefeated in NFL shows. I am coming for the crown. But Caden, you have 13 points. You've done really incredible, and it's going to be hard for me to catch you. How have you done so good at picking?
Yeah, obviously, I relied a lot on my dad. I got to give him a bunch of credit because me and him talk hockey all the time. My mom will come downstairs and be like, "Oh, you're talking hockey again?" and then just walk away. So that shows we really annoy her with that. But it's great having somebody that I can talk to a lot about it. Talk about ideas and maybe not say so many bad takes.
So your dad's really helped you.
Yeah. Shout out Derek Nagel.
I can just see you guys, sit.
What a guy. What a
Just
legend.
dox him.
I can see you guys sitting, staying up. It's 11:30. You guys watching the late night hockey games. I'm sure you guys have a lot of fun with that, right?
Stays up till 11.
I'm asleep by 10.
Yeah,
I
taking it that
be
your
honest.
bedtime's 8.
Yeah.
So Derek Nagel setting a bedtime for you.
Yeah.
I was agreeing. Do you sleep with the nightlight?
No, I was
He said,
agreeing with
yeah.
Theo. I was agreeing with Theo.
Definitely.
It's important to get your rest,
We are not going to.
especially when you're as dominant as
White
me.
noise.
He gets the picture book right at the end of the night.
Oh my God.
Guys, look, at the 4 of us, we need to have this talk. We cannot let him win this show.
I know.
We cannot let this happen.
You can't let the little baby win.
Yeah, no. This would be embarrassing if this goes down. And we're going to make sure that it happens. And one of the ways is by getting our picks right. And I believe I've gotten this champion pick right. Let's bring up the graphic, take a look at who we've selected to win the Stanley Cup. I'm going to say in advance, this is a typo. I have Knights in 5, not 6. Besides that, though, most of you guys have it going 7. JP, you have Panthers in 6. But here's what's fascinating to me. The past 2 rounds, I was the only person to pick the Florida Panthers. I mean, all of you guys had the Leafs, all you guys had the Canes the past 2 shows. And now all of a sudden, 3 of you have Florida winning. Drew, what changed for you all?
Really just the dominance that they had against the Hurricanes. I mean, they really stepped up, and it's been really a big surprise, I would say, this offseason. You know, they barely got in as a wild card team, which was really unexpected by them. You know, coming off a President's Trophy last year, the best team in the NHL. Just a really, really, really big surprise, and they've really stepped up in the playoffs. You know, really big key players, Chuck. Sam Bennett's been stepping up a little bit. Barkov, you know, just the normal guys. Bobrovsky, too, I mentioned before, just have really stepped up for them. That's one of the key reasons why they're in the Cup final.
Yeah, look, it's been such a fun run to watch. Sadly, I have it coming to an end. And Rowan, I want you to give us some insight into the Knights and why you think they'll win the series.
Well, the Knights are a very talented team, and I mean, I'm not saying the Panthers aren't, but I just feel like the Knights just have a little more talent on at least the offense side. But you guys could argue about Sergei Bobrovsky being better than Adin Hill, but to that, I'd like to say that if you just look at the save percentages, Adin Hill has a higher save percentage. Adin Hill's save percentage is .938% when Sergei Bobrovsky's is .931%. So it's definitely close, but he's proved himself, and I just don't want you guys to forget about Adin Hill. He's better than. I mean, we haven't really talked about him, so
yeah, we really
just want to
haven't.
bring him up a little
That
bit.
save, that was a momentum changer.
Yeah.
I mean, because look, Game 1's happened as of this recording.
Save.
It was a 2-2 game when that happened, right?
Yeah.
And Knights won 5-2. I mean, that just completely changed the whole tide of the game. Absolutely incredible. JP, anything you want to say about the Panthers?
Yeah, well, I mean, Panthers, they really let me down so far when I was picking against them. This is kind of the shot that I'm giving. This is their redemption. So if you guys are watching this, bet it, Gudis, just don't let me down, obviously. So, yeah, but going back to Adin Hill, that dude came out of nowhere. He got traded from the Coyotes. You said I wouldn't bring up the Coyotes. Guess what? I did it again. Adin Hill, absolute menace. But now, dude came out of nowhere, took over Jonathan Quick, and I mean, even though he was new too. But Panthers, I just still see them now just getting that edge because they've proven me wrong so far.
Also, Adin Hill, props for him for standing up for himself after one of the Panthers players shoved him. He hit him back.
Yeah.
Some goalies won't, but he did. And then obviously that guy got punished as the entire line jumped on him. But props for standing up for himself.
Look, if you're a goalie, you got all those pads. What are you scared of, right? I'd be throwing hands at everyone if I was a goalkeeper. That's my personal take.
And then
on
you
it.
got that cage when most players only have the.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the
advisor.
Blue Jacket. Who's the Blue Jackets? No, not the Blue Jackets. The who am I thinking? Never mind. Yeah.
No, you're good. Continue.
Keep
I want to
going.
know because now
Fish
I'm
for it,
curious.
Caden. Fish for it.
I can't remember the
Okay,
team.
I'm not going to allow
we'll come
my
back. We'll come
analysts
back.
to get tortured like this.
Wow.
Main takeaway: we need more goalie fights, right? We can all agree on that.
Oh, 100%.
We need a goalie fight in the series.
It's St. Louis's goalie.
Oh,
Jordan
Bennington, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I hate that guy with a passion.
You beat every team with a passion.
Yeah. Because I'm
Yeah.
a salty Rangers fan.
I'm
What
noticing
else
a
do you
trend
think? I'm going to hate
around
everybody.
JP here. To wrap this up, I have Knights 5, mainly because I think the Panthers' momentum is starting to die out. I mean, they, in a way, are screwing themselves over having swept the Canes because they had to go 6 days without a game. And when you're a team with so much momentum, you got to keep playing. And they were not able to, and that really is going to hurt them, I believe. So let's move on to our next topic, total number of goals in the series. Price is right rules here. You have to be the closest without going over to get 1 point, and if you completely nail it, you'll get 3 points. So I had 21. I was in the middle. Drew, you only had 15 goals being scored. What's going on there?
Now that I look at it, I think it's really low. I think it's going to be close to probably the 20-25 mark, kind of where you put Theo and JP put it. But I honestly think goaltending is going to be key in this matchup. Aiden Hill, we've said it, Bobrovsky too, have really both stepped up for their teams. I think you said there were 7 goals scored in the first game, which it's close to my mark, but I do think it's going to be really close. Now I don't think I'll get this point, but
I mean, you also 15, had to go in 7 games. 15 goals in 7 games.
Yeah, but I do think goaltending is going to be the big key in this matchup,
sure.
but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Rowan kind of broke down the goalkeeping matchup for us earlier, and that was a good analysis of what's going on because 2 really, really talented guys, 2 guys who are kind of on fire right now behind the net. Let's move on to our next topic to speed things along. Let's go into the player with most penalty minutes. I kind of thought we'd get a lot of answers. I kind of forgot who was playing in this series. Okay, man, talk about Radko Gudas for us.
Just an absolute menace. He's like screaming we brought this up before the show, but screaming in the Maple Leafs goalie's face after winning. You do not want to mess with him. He is not a man to be messed with. And just the name even is intimidating. I know we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to fight many guys named Radko. You had Sam Bennett though.
What happened there? Sam Bennett's a dirty player, 38 minutes in the postseason in the penalty box, and he's just not a good player. He's not a clean player. He's not a clean player, but I think it's going to be one of them.
Okay, and I could absolutely see that.
And Sam Bennett, it's just an incredible journey. I mean, just being amateur to pro golfer. Now he's in the NHL. I don't know if you guys get that. And there you go, you gets it, yeah.
And of course, another very menacing name. Someone's named Sam Bennett. I'm running the other way.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett.
I'm not sure who Sam. Who are you going to take?
Yeah, Radko or Sam. I don't know where I'm going there. So let's move on to another player-based question. The series ends. Hand it to the captain, lifts the cup over his head, and then someone else gets it. So who's going to be the first non-captain to get to lift up the Stanley Cup when it's all said and done? I went Jack Eichel. I just think he's going to be absolutely incredible, and even though he's a kind of new guy there, they'll let him lift it up. Came in, and JP, you guys had to chuck. Do I even need to elaborate on that? No, we're not going to have you guys talk about that. Rowan, you back up your pick.
Jonathan Marshall. So for the Knights side, he's been one of the main pushing factors for that team. 10 goals in the playoffs, and he's just seemed like one of their best offensive players. So I think, and he's also an older player on his team.
One of the original guys.
Yeah. So I think that they'll just want to give him the cup. I think it's well deserved.
I saw a stat before this past game on Saturday that he had 8 goals in his last 8 games in the playoffs. So absolutely stepping up for the Golden Knights, and the original Golden Misfits obviously had a huge showing this playoffs.
Golden Misfits, that's a funny name, yeah.
Now, if you're looking at a Marchessault standpoint, somebody that's also kind of in the same situation, has been there for a while, Mark Stone, that's another guy. Kind of, if I was just to look away from Tkachuk, I think that's kind of my second option, Mark Stone. He's been there a while. He's big, he brings physicality, but he's also elite. He's been great so far. I mean, every year he's been on the Knights, he's always had something to show, and so I feel like it's going to be tight. If Vegas wins, it's going to be tight between them.
Yeah, and Drew, you had a very valid pick as well in Eric Stahl. I think he's just been around so long that we could absolutely see him winning. Let's move on to our final topic, final opportunity to earn some points. Conn Smythe Trophy, playoff MVP, not just the Stanley Cup MVP. That's a big difference in hockey from many other sports. I went Jack Eichel. Again, I'm kind of relying on Eichel to do a lot of things for me here. Yeah. 2 Bobrovskys, 2 Tkachuks. You had Bobrovsky even though you have the Knights winning. Explain that for us real quick.
Well, you just see Bobrovsky. He seems like the best goalie in the playoffs. He's one of the main factors for that Panthers team. And, I don't know. I just had a feeling that he'd get it.
Well, 5 goals scored in Game 1. One of them was an empty net, but he wasn't completely on point.
You can't just look at one game, though, right? You have to look at the whole playoff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially that last series where he just outshined the whole team. He was.
He had a a couple rocky two. I think it was the Maple Leaf series when he had
Yeah.
2 games. I think that he got pulled. He got pulled in one of them, and he didn't start the next
Well, they
game
got off
after,
to
so.
like a 3-0 lead, though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and then it was basically over from there. Let's talk about Kachuk real quick. We've been quiet on him today, relatively. Joe, it's just been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we don't need to elaborate that much on him. He's just been Kachuk. He's doing the best that Kachuk can, and I think that's enough that can really win the Conn Smythe for him. But I think if he just continues to work his magic and hopefully get that cup win like my pick supports, I feel like it's just going to be him all the way.
And again, we have so many great ideas talking pre-show. Drew was telling me he thinks Kachuk can possibly win it, even if the Knights take the series, right? Because he's just been that incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the time we have for today. We are going to be back, school year coming to an end, but we are going to give you a 5th show. We're going to crown a champion. We're also going to punish the loser. So you two.
I don't like how you looked at me there. That's
Yeah.
not good.
You're not too up there, all right? You're 1 point ahead of us.
Yeah, but I'm trending upwards. You guys are.
Oh, really? Because I just got 2 points.
Oh, wow. 2 points. I'm scared.
How many did you get? You got 1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, look, I have the experience. I'm not stressing it because I always find a way to rise to the top. And that's something that we'll see if you guys have that element in you. It's been very fun. Love talking hockey with you guys. And as we all like to say, let's do that hockey. For Warwick Valley Television,
And Patrick
I'm
Mahomes
Tito
is
Fernandez.
overrated. Who said that?